Hey guys, welcome back to the second week team builder for the Weaviles of the PBO. Last week we took a dub over the Toronto Star Raptors, and yeah, it was a pretty good game. We got some solid work out of the Hatterene, and it was a good time. This week we're going to be facing off the Brooklyn Banettes, and they have one hell of a team. They really cooked something up spicy in draft. Alright, so they basically went to OU and said, yeah, I need Iron Leaves, Iron Treads, and Iron Valiant. Okay, cool. We gave them all. It is what it is. And then they were like, yeah, I need Pink Urchin from PU. Damn, I didn't think about that. So this guy's basically running Quark Drive offense. It's super irritating to plan for and super powerful. This shit's going to hit me like a truck. Quite hard to switch into. So this whole draft consists of Iron Valiant, Salamence, Weavile, Toxicity, Dunsparce, Pink Urchin, Iron Treads, Iron Leaves, Cleanser, Ice Cube, and Skunk Tank. So as you can see, not a lot of bulk. Has some decent support mons in there, like Iron Treads can be supportive to Dunsparce, can be rocks and be have some kind of support. But not a lot of bulk. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about. But that does mean that he has fucking 5 or 6 mons that are just straight offense. Go fuck yourself. Have fun. So I gotta plan. So when I was planning, I was like, damn, how are we gonna navigate all of this? So first off, we're bringing the boy back from week 1, Elfman, the Adamant Primate, you know what I'm saying? It's literally the same spread as last week. but this week we're not like trying to get lucky on if the enemy crits us with like Anger Point. We actually get to use Defiant because they have Salamence with Defiant, so we get some value out of that. In addition to Pink Urchin has Memento, so we don't want to I don't know, send Mr. Elfman in on Pink Urchin or something, and Pink mid to late game just fucking sacks itself to Myth Memento, and you know, now my guys shit out of luck, and then we get set up and die. That would suck. So Defiant has some value here. Always fun to use. Cool. My next thought was, what the fuck am I gonna do about this terrain? Like, I thought about, oh, should I bring like Misty Terrain, Hatterene? I don't really have a defogger, so I can't just defog it away. The fuck am I gonna do? And then I was like, oh wait, I have a fucking ground type. A ground type that learns spikes. Not that I'm pretty spikes, I guess. But it learns spikes and rapid spin, obviously stab earth power. And I was like, that's really awesome. So I was like, I'll bring my Toad Scroll, which is exciting because I actually haven't used Toad Scroll too much on the ladder. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success with it, being able to spore and stuff like Golden Go and Hatterene. Obviously, as a knockoff for good utility, so I'm excited to use it. But I was running into some calc issues where like Specs Toxicity just fucking one-shots my mon. Oh, okay. Specs Iron Valiant was doing a lot of damage. Stuff like this. And so I kind of went the idea of like, oh, Spadef, spike stacking, Toad Scroll. I was like, nah. Instead, we're gonna give it some speed. This is enough speed to speed creep Toxicity, timid, or whatever the fuck speed boosting nature they want to use, Toxicity. And if it is timid specs Toxicity, it has like a 1.2% chance to OHKO me with Assault Vest, so that's really good. If it's specs modest, it is the roll is much higher. I think it's like 56 or like 60% to two-shot me. But as anyone who's ever fucking played against Toxicity knows, nothing really takes Boom Burst well. Like, it's just hard to switch into. So this is kind of my pivot for that. This is also probably gonna be my lead for the game, because this does like, I think 76, 78 min to max HP Pink Urchin. So the ability for me just to Earth Power off the rip is really nice. Again, he doesn't have a great ground resist. If we look at his team here, he has Salamence, and that's about it. And I guess Iron Leaves, but we'll get to it later. Damage on Iron Leaves would be very nice because I have one switch into Iron Leaves, so we'll get there. So damage on Iron Leaves is like pretty mid or whatever. That's kind of why we have Sludge Bomb, because it hits Iron Leaves super effectively pre-Terra, and it hits Iron Valiant very hard as well. So there's no great earth resist. What the fuck? No great ground resist for my earth power on his team except for Salamence. But I don't really think Salamence is coming this week because there's a rule in the PBO about you can only bring 4 of the same mons week to week. You can't bring the same 6. That's a very interesting rule, a very unique rule. If you look here, oh, that's a different game. Well, shout out to the Clef Keys, because those were the games. Well, I thought those were the games from the Brooklyn Banettes. But basically, Brooklyn Banettes last week brought Pincurchin, all the Quark Drive Mons, and Weavile and Salamence. So I kind of think they're gonna not bring Weavile or Salamence, because why the fuck would you not bring Pincurchin plus your 3 Quark Drive Mons? So, right? But if Salamence does come, that's something we have checks to and situations to navigate. Sin number. Boom, baby, that's me. Pulling up random notes, I like that. Didn't expose that. Yeah, so it is what it is kind of thing. Again, this Toad Scroll is really just meant to cause havoc, control hazards, and be supportive, right? Knock items off, spin away, do damage with Earth Tower, Sludge Bomb, special Iron Valiant, because it actually takes Moonblast pretty effectively. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. In general, Specs Iron Valiant really rocks my world. It really just fucking shits on me, I would say. Like, it's so hard to switch into. In addition to Specs Toxicity. So again, with Item Clause, another very unique rule from the PBO. Only one can be Specs, so I'm going to try to leverage that information in my favor this match rather. So yeah. Anyway, so that's my first mon. My first specially defensive like check. Oh, please don't one-shot me, mon, because look at the fucking team. Like, bro has Specs, potentially Specs Toxicity, I can't speak, Specs Iron Valiant, and Specs Cleanser. All very possible to come. I don't know what is what, but it's possible. Shit's could cook me. But for sure, the Toad Scroll ground typing is really good this game, and I'm excited to use this for the first time, kind of thing. Alright. Second off, we're bringing back another fine warrior from last week, and this is the Vaporeon Juvia. This is my additional special wall. This actually beats Iron Valiant super consistently, except for Specs Thunderbolt. That can get into that has a very reasonable roll to 2 at KO me, but with Protect we can kind of mitigate some of that. And again, if it's Specs, then other things will not be Specs. With Juvia, I hope to, spread wishes around, because wishes is just so broken, and I hope that will keep my Toad Scroll alive long enough to constantly switch into things like Toxicity and Iron Treads. The Iron Treads rolls for things like Vaporeon and Toad Scroll are not so great. So like if we talk about the Earthquake calc for Vaporeon, it does like 44%. So it's gonna do like 40% on average or something. It's kind of what it's gonna do. That's okay. Like it's not like a fucking take an L, go next angle, but it's not great, because I do want this to have as much HP as possible to figure out what the fuck is Specs, what is not Specs, kind of thing. And then similar for Toad Scroll, Iron Head from like offensive treads is doing a lot of damage. It's doing like at least 44% or something. It's really insane. But again, Iron Treads has a crazy good offensive typing. Look at Excadrill, super crazy mode. So it is what it is. We're just gonna try to navigate that around and play with that. We have 32 defensive EVs for Juvia here, because that allows us to take non-boosted Dragon Claw, do Wind Beat, base 80 moves kind of thing from Salamence without getting 2-hit KO raw. So if it's like heavy duty boots or leftovers of fucking Lum, I don't know, something like this, it cannot just Dragon Claw once and the Dragon Claw twice and then kill us, which is super important. And if there's like rocks and stuff on the field, like we have Protect to try to make these rolls go in our favor if we get to a KO kind of vibes. If he does just flat Dragon Dance on me, I do live 1 at full, and then I can Ice Beam and kill it 100%. If that's how the situation plays out. Another great thing about Vaporeon is its water immunity, so like Claw Insta just can't click its stab move, it has to click its Mega Launcher boosted moves, and these are much easier for Vaporeon to soak up in general, so we can like try to Wish Protect and get some HP back that way. So again, Juvia did a really fine job last week, you know, Wish passing, Baton passing, all that wonderful stuff. So hopefully she can put up the same fucking numbers same numbers as last week for this week. So those are the 3 mons. Then we get into, I guess, our physical wall, or our mon that has to fucking eat Iron Leaves. Because Iron Leaves, in Brooklyn Banettes' second game, I want to say, Iron Leaves kind of was cooking the whole enemy team. So I didn't know how I was going to switch into Terra Leaves, because this Terra mon has Fighting and Psychic. Psychic and Fighting are pretty good offensive coverage, in addition to Leaf Blade. So how, right, like I can't put Hatterene, and then Hatterene gets fucking 2-tapped by a fucking Leaf Blade or some cringe stuff, shit, you know, what the fuck? Hell no. So how the hell am I gonna fucking switch into this then? I ran some calcs, and I came up with a very exciting set. So, this might not look exciting, but I'm very excited. So, we have Null Pudding. Shout out if you get the reference. You know, similar to Juvia and all my other Fairy Tail names. Shout out to that shit. Shout out to you if you get that shit. And it's fucking Overquill. And I'm super, super excited to use this shit, because I've never used it before. I'm a huge fan of Quillfish. I think I'm on his crazy mode. Hisuian Quillfish has a better fucking typing, and this thing's a fucking evolution of it. Alright, so, the question is, how the fuck is this supposed to take, you know, Terra Close Combats, and SD and all this wonderful stuff? So, obviously I'm a Dark type. I just straight up do not take damage from Psychic moves. That's really awesome. And I'm a Poison type. Fantastic. Leaf Blade, doing negative damage. Psychic, and Terra Fighting, like, so CC does like 33% to me or something. Like, it's really not a lot of damage. And I'm running Black Sludge, which falls within item clause, so Juvia can have leftovers. Awesome, again. All this is fucking coming up Overquill, you know? And Intimidate is the big thing. I come in, Intimidate, I take, you know, 33, actually I don't even think it's 30, I think it's like 25 to 33 max, right? I come in, take fucking, whatever it is, 27 on average percent, and then from there we can Spikes on Iron Leaves. That's really exciting, because Spikes is going to put some things into critical thresholds when we get to our Enamorous. So, Spikes is very good. The only real immunity as the Spike is Salamence, but we've discussed this before. I don't think Salamence or Weavile are coming because of last week. That's another mon that this thing takes on very well, is Weavile. Weavile's Dark Stab now in this gen is fucking Night Slash. It's fucking negative damage. It does no damage to me. Ice Crush is a little bit of damage, you know, like 30% or something. But again, we have Protect, so Protect's going to help us rack up the Black Sludge recovery, help us stall out these Electric Terrain turns for other mons, or other Quark Drive mons, right? So if Weavile comes in, it's the same situation. Like, we can Spikes into Protect, into Spikes into Protect on it. In reality, it's really just going to be a Spikes into Protect into Spikes moment, but that's okay. And obviously, we still have like base 115 attack with Poison Gem. I really wanted to run its signature move, which is Bob Barrage, 50% chance to poison, and then you double its power if the target is poisoned. If you use it, so it's like physical Venoshock that has a 50% chance to poison. That's insane. And it sounds really awesome. Again, if I was against a bulkier team, I think this move is really cool. You just run around, poison shit, come back in, take double damage. Like, that sounds awesome. But he doesn't have that kind of team. He has, like, just straight up, like, fragile mons in general. So he's just going to take more damage. So Poison Jab is also nice because I'm -1 for non-Terra Iron Leaves, like, if it's grass type. And if he runs a physical Valiant, if he runs, or mixed Valiant, if he runs a CC on that, Poison Jab does KO these mons. So with that in mind, I was like, poison jab's just better to run. I think the way this game's gonna pace out and look is, I have my defensive checks and my defensive switch-ins, and then I get like pot shots. I get very select timings to go for offensive moves, or spikes or something like that, right? Like I have very specific turns where I'm allowed to make an aggressive action, just because of how offensive and scary his fucking team is. But yeah, I think Overquill is going to be go crazy mode. It beats Weavile, it beats Iron Leaves, and it beats Physical Valiant. That's another one. If he wins SD Valiant, I just cooks that guy. Like it's unplayable for him. So that's really good, really good. And then obviously, like if he been Skunk Tank or something, Skunk Tank did lose defog this gen. So if he been Skunk Tank, I can just switch in on this thing if it doesn't do too much damage with special moves, and then I can just spikes up in this bitch and it's free win, right? Very nice. Poison Jab's good. Spikes Protect I think will be cool tech, and then Liquidation does some damage to Iron Treads, because again I need something to actually do damage to Iron Treads, because this thing kind of outspeeds my whole shit. Excuse me, I just kind of like had a small sneezing attack there. Gotta mute my mic. So yeah, Iron Treads takes like, if it's like offensive Iron Treads, it takes like 37% min, so it just comes in, takes a chunk of damage, we try to pivot out and do something. Again, my Iron Tread switch-ins are not great. Like if it's offensive Iron Treads, which we can totally see by the calc on Liquidation, which I'm super excited for, because that's like a very nice way to play the game, is to figure out spreads by calcs. If it's offensive, stuff like Vaporeon and does not take Earthquake, great. But if it's defensive, stuff like Toadschool and Vaporeon do take it somewhat acceptably. I do think Iron Treads again has like 4 move syndrome in this game. Like he needs to run Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Spin for sure, and then his last move can be Rocks, his last move can be Knock Off, its last move could be Ice Spinner to cook my my Toadschool, for example, right? So it kind of has a lot of moves to run, so I gotta scout and play around with my Protect turns, right? Could be Volt Switch as well, so super excited to use now putting the Overquill. Like I'm so excited. Like Hatterene was my last week's like pick to watch, you know, my set that I'm cooking. And obviously that came and it did phenomenally well. So I hope that Overquill has the same kind of reception and the same kind of debut that Hatterene did. I'm very excited to use this mon. This set should, I hope, perform as well. Then we got fucking OG. What's the shiny on this shit? I never looked. Oh, it doesn't show me. Okay. The OG, the Giga Chad himself. I don't fucking know what this thing is. The fucking Dash Bun killer from week 1, I guess. Deli Order, Baxcalibur. Good old Baxcalibur. Yeah, so I didn't know what to run this week. Again, what the fuck am I supposed to do when everything in his mom outspeeds me? Even though I've been Scuff, all of his moms outspeed me under fucking Quartz Drive, under the terrain. So like Scuff is kind of useless. Even though I thought about it, I was like, Scuff doesn't seem bad. I just run around and click my moves and shit and do damage. So instead, we just ended up going with Choice Band. And I was like, well, Choice Band is cool because, like, again, his Dragon Resists are like pretty shit. His fairy type again is Iron Valiant, and if that mon is coming in and taking like a Spikes turn, or you know what I'm saying, like if I force that mon in, at least then I'm getting some kind of information from it, hopefully. So like that there's some kind of value there. But more importantly, while he does have a decent Dragon Resist and like Iron Treads, I want damage on that too, because that's important for certain KOs. Like we'll get to an MRS. He has no Ice Resist. That's like the most important thing. This motherfucker has no Ice Resist at all. His Ice Resist is Clawincer, but like that's not an Ice Resist. That's a fucking annoyance to my Baxcalibur. So I was like, cool, we'll just run Ice Stab. We'll just be what Weavile used to be. Like, be Bandit, pick Icicle Crash and get free kills. Awesome. Earthquake's really good. It knocks out Pincurchant, it knocks out Iron Treads, it knocks out Toxicity, obviously, and it's just, again, he doesn't have the best flying switch-ins like we talked about with Bustle the Toadschool, so EQ is just a good net neutral move. Awesome, cool, I feel good about that. And then I was like, oh, his whole team outspeeds me. I run Ice Shard. Again, Ice Shard is not as fancy as it was last week, where like +2 Ice Shard was like doing 60% to everything in the game. Banded Ice Shard does like 25-30% at a minimum to everything in the game, which is still pretty good. And this does not factor in stuff like CC drops from Iron Valiant or Iron Leaves. Do you know what I mean? This also is like just a straight up beat for Salamence. If Salamence for some reason gets to +2, gets a couple Moxie boosts, gets out of control because I'm slacking and bad, I could just go into this thing, completely one-shot it with Ice Shard, no contest, no, I'm not too worried. The only thing about Mr. Baxcalibur here is when we talk about a Terra type. So a Terra type is interesting in this game. I can let Terra Dragon, and Terra Dragon allows me to one-shot Pincurchin with Glaive Rush, which is kind of useless because I have Earthquake, and obviously just do more damage flat to everything. Or I can Terra Fairy for more of a defensive, not defensive, but like it gives me very unique unique leverage in certain situations. So again, if you bring Salamence, I don't have to be scared about a 50-50 on a dragon move. I can just click it. It's the same thing with Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant comes in. Okay, he can't kill me. Terra Fairy, the bro can't kill me from Terra Fairy. Just, you know, look at my fucking HP pool, almost 400. And then I just kill him back, which I feel like is very valuable. Alternatively, we run Terra Dragon in front of Iron Treads, and just try to do damage to Iron Treads, because me KOing Iron Treads is a little bit of a struggle. A little bit on the struggle bus situation. The Terra Fairy argument also applies to something like Iron Leaves. So basically, all of his offensive mons can do that. So that's why I'm running Terra Fairy this week, as I think Terra Fairy will be good if I need to be a Valiant fighting a Fairy move. If I need to eat a Iron Leaves play, do you know what I mean? Like, I think defensively it just looks better. Even though I would love to run Iron Dragon. What the fuck? I would love to run Terra Dragon to be able to be like, yep, Iron Treads does no damage to me. I get a kill. It is what it is, kind of thing. It's not great, but it is what it is. I think Terra Fairy will have more situations aggressively like that. Yeah, so that's Daliora, Baxcalibur. I think this thing's going to do a lot of damage. If I ever get to click Glaive Rush, I'm sad that I couldn't go Adamant, but I have to go Jolly again to speed creep fucking Timid Toxicity, because I don't switch into that thing well, I have to be able to kill it. If I was Adamant, I would feel very much better about it, because like he has no switch into ice moves at all. But Jolly's a little lame, but it's okay. I still think Bandage is going to do a lot of damage. I do see a lot of situations where like, if something takes too many spike turns, or like Valiant for some reason keeps taking U-turn damage from Elfman or something, like Ice Shard can clean up, which is very nice. Basically a spike plus any move from Brasso or Juvia on any of his offensive mons, put it in range of Ice Shard. Is kind of how the calc goes, and that feels really good, right? Obviously. So I'm excited to use this thing. Obviously, again, it got its dash bum kill last week, and so hopefully it just rocks up to the show this week and just blows people out of the water. That's like the dream, right? Alright, and then we get to the last but not least, hate fuck Enamorus, the guy, the B1 draft, the B1 pick of the Witchita Weaviles season 2 of the PBO, baby. Get some water in my system. Okay, this guy, I could not decide what I wanted to do with this motherfucker. I thought about Scarf Enamorus, because Enamorus' speed tier is actually really good this game. Its speed ties Iron Treads, it is slower than Iron Valiant and Weavile, and that's it. It outspeeds everything else. So that's like really, really, really good. You know what I'm saying? 104, 106. Its speed is very good. So I thought I was like, oh, do I just run Scarf Superpower and just like try to contrary my way through this team? Which sounds cool when he has like Iron Treads and the Dunsparce and Weavile that I can knock out. But I was concerned about, and again, it's contrary, so like Salamence Intimidate is good for me. But I was concerned about, even if I get a +1 on this guy, like, Iron Valiant comes in, sets up on me, and cooks me. You know what I mean? Um, and then I'm like concerned about other things, like Toxicity comes in and cooks me. Like, it won't die to +1 superpower. So I was like, maybe superpower is a little slow. It's a good wall breaking tool, and like not a lot of thing. If it resists, you can take 2, but if you don't, if it's a neutral hit, you can't take 2. But I was like, I think it's a little slow to get going. And so then I was like, this Enamours guy has 130 special attack. So I was like, cool, I think I should have been special. Because again, his switch-ins to ice type moves are bad, but that's reflected for fairy type moves as well. He doesn't have great fairy switch-ins. His fairy switch-in is Iron Treads, which we've talked about is like this mon that I struggle to deal with. So I have to make it come in and take damage. And so, okay, cool, go into Iron Treads, that's fine. And we speed tie Iron Treads. So, you know, Moonblast into Earth Power always kills, kind of thing. So, if a 50-50 happens, a 50-50 happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is at least some kind of action for Iron Treads. It's not great, but it's something. Moonblast obviously one-shots Iron Valiant, obviously one-shots Iron Leaves, obviously kills Weavile and Salamence and all these mons, right? Like, it does so much damage. Earth Power completely smokes Toxicity. It does immense damage to Pink Urchin. If it's max HP Pink, I do not one-shot it, but it's close. And then I was like, cool, I need a mon. I need something to do. I need some move to hit fucking Iron Leaves, because he's not a fighting type before he Terras. Which is the Terra I assume is coming. Maybe he goes Terra Psychic or something, and then like my overquote is straight up like walls him and he can never play the game. But I don't think that's the case. And so I was like, okay, I'll go Sludge Bomb, because I don't want a situation where like Banded Iron Leaves or something resists or does not die to a Moonblast and then just smokes my shit. So I went Sludge Bomb. Again, it does like 77% min. I threw an expert bet on this thing because that's pretty important for certain calc. Like, the main calc that's important for it is Iron Treads. If it's offensive Iron Treads, I for sure kill it at 100%, no matter what. No HP investment with Earth Power, which is awesome. But if he's max HP Treads, it's like 88 max. It's like 88 min. So the expert belt helps with this calc to make it in my favor. And my last move, like I said, is not like I said, but that I was going to talk about is obviously agility. That's why I'm not voting contrary, because that would completely suck to be in -2 speed. Agility is interesting because if I can get a turn, whether it's on a double or a switch out or a locked fighting move from Iron Valiant or Leaves, or like maybe Salamence went for Outrage, or even Aura Sphere or Dark Pulse from Clawinsa, Dragon Pulse as well, I guess. I can agility, and at +2, I outspeed everything. I outspeed everything that's scuffed. I outspeed everything that is in terrain. I am just the Flash. I'm the fastest guy in the world. And so, with that in mind, if people have took chip damage, people have took spikes, people have took some ice shards, some people have took the 30 to 40% calcs from my tankier mons, Moonblast will just sweep through, Sludge Bomb will sweep through, Earth Power will sweep through, right? And I'm faster than everything. I'm faster than Iron Treads. I'm faster than this. The other stuff I was thinking about is running the Steel Resist Berry like last week, so I can actually agility on Iron Treads. But I feel like I need these calcs. I need Expert Belt to just completely do as much damage as possible to things like Iron Leaves, and to have much better rolls than the Pink Urchin. So that's the team for week 2 of the PBO from the Witchita Weaviles. We're rocking once again Hate Fuck Deliora, Nell Pudding, Brussels, Juvia, and Elfman. And we should be playing this in the next couple days, I guess. Super excited to play it. I'm very scared. And this week, again, guys, I'll try my best. Obviously, don't get caught up in the nerves and the sauce and stuff. Like, I gotta remember, live record this shit. I don't want to do fucking post-coms. That's not the vibe, in my opinion. So, I gotta remember that. So, once again, thank you for all your support. Thank you for checking out the PBO and our team. And yeah, hope to see you guys on the next video, which will be us uploading the second week battle. So yep, hit that like button, subscribe, and with that, I'll see you guys next week, or next video rather, not next week, next video. Bye.